we're also doing a YouTube live. TJ is with me right now, but I'm hearing a lot of background noise. If you could turn that down, TJ, that would be helpful.
It's not me.
Um,
It's silent.
really,
Yeah.
there must be the glitch in the app, whatever. But anyway, we're doing this YouTube live. We did a TikTok live yesterday, and I thought I'd bring somebody on with me that we
I've
can
never
talk
been.
about some of this crazy shit.
I've never been on a YouTube live.
I haven't either. I can't see you. Is that by design or is that something we're missing?
I don't know. Let me see if I can figure this out.
Yeah, see if you can get a camera on. Okay, I
Yeah.
see green.
Oh, what the heck is that?
I don't know.
I'm
Anyway,
trying here.
you're watching the YouTube live. We're doing this to kind of talk about some of the things that are going on here. We're doing a couple things for the first time. Having a guest on here, I haven't done it before. I sent a link. TJ hasn't done this either. So we're trying to figure out how we can get this done. But we've had some pretty interesting things going on uh, as of late, today, as a matter of fact. Um, we I did a TikTok recently, and I was talking about how
Oh,
frustrating I am.
wait a minute.
I almost saw you, TJ. But what I've been frustrated about is that we know Elon Musk is going out with his merry band of prepubescent fanboy hackers and going into various
Oh,
different kinds of.
it
Oh,
worked.
there's TJ. You look a little like Max Headroom up in this bitch, but um,
Yeah, I don't know why I have a green screen, but that's okay.
that's all right. What I was getting at was that I'm a little frustrated, confused, and disappointed with America in general. We know that Elon Musk is going out with his merry band of prepubescent fanboy hackers and going into various departments, compromising the computer system. But here's what I found really frustrating. Uh, Sit still, goddammit. You're moving the mic around.
I'm trying. I'm trying here.
All right. Anyway, um, we're at the Department of Education today, and that's where Elon Musk. I'm really getting a lot of feedback here.
Oh,
You
is that
probably
better?
need a headset. Yeah, it's a little better. Uh, so anyway, Elon Musk is in the Department of Education. Yeah, I'm still getting it. Um,
Let me go get some headphones, Mike. Go ahead.
yeah, by all means, go get some headphones. So anyway, I'll try to keep up here. Anyway, Elon Musk and all his band of prepubescent dipshits in there. Uh,
I don't know.
uh, the, it's getting hard to do.
I'm getting some headphones, Mike, right now.
All right, good. Um, Here's my problem with this whole situation. We've got Elon Musk in the Department of Education, and we've got one guy standing outside the building, standing in front of the door. He's not letting anybody in. They pretty much locked down the Department of Education. That's frustrating. Then a whole hassle of sitting members of Congress come up and say, "We want to get in." All right, and they want to get in, and this one guy is telling them, "No, you can't come in." And they're asking him who he is and what he's doing, and he's not answering anything. So it's just all really kind of a mess. And here's what I find frustrating. What I find frustrating is that I always thought members of Congress were powerful. You got some nondescript guy standing in front of the door of the Department of Education, and this group of Congress people can't get past this guy. Are you telling me there isn't one security detail with one of these members of Congress that can't grab this guy by the scruff of the neck and throw him across the walk? I get the feeling this whole thing was a performance thing, both by the Democrats and the Republicans, just to show how terrible and how tough this whole thing was. It just frustrates me that we have members of Congress that can do nothing to move one guy in front of a door. And then after we hear about this going into the Department of Education and compromising the computer systems, they say, well, what he's doing is illegal. What he's doing is illegal. Okay, then why is he still doing it? Why is he fucking still doing it if it's illegal? And they will say stuff like, well, they're going to sue him. Well, great. Are you telling me I could go down to a liquor store, rob it, leave with the money, and they say, don't touch him, we're going to sue him? I just don't. I don't see that.
Well,
Um, we've got TJ with us here. I think he's finally settled down. He's got a green screen. He's got some headsets, and
I,
we can get
I
down to
don't
business.
I don't know why I have a green screen. I have no idea what I did to do that, but okay. Um, well, I had a discussion today with my friend who's a labor law attorney, and well, he's not just a labor law attorney, but he's mostly a labor law attorney, and he's argued cases in front of the Supreme Court. And I asked him, I said, can you please explain to me what is going on with Elon Musk and all this bullshit with Donald Trump, and why is this happening? And he said they're doing it under something called the Unitary Executive Theory. And the Unitary Executive Theory is basically, I mean, he got into a lot of legal stuff that even was above my head. I'm a plumber, not an attorney. But
Yeah.
he said that it's a theory that because um, the departments of government are not laid out in the Constitution, that the executive branch has ultimate authority over the departments, which, since FDR, we know that's bullshit, and precedent has been set over that it is bullshit. So he said that they're currently filing briefs with the courts to stop him from doing this, but and this was in regards to the National Labor Relations Board, which is his realm. Um, but he said that that's the guys that they're going under. They're saying that the executive branch is claiming that they have ultimate authority over all the departments because they're not they're not laid out under the Constitution, which it's bullshit. It's a total sham. And ultimately, he said that there's going to be a lot of lawsuits that is going to put Donald Trump in a bad position. But that's why they're doing it, and that's why they're getting away with it.
Yeah. Well, it's typical of Donald Trump in that they're constantly looking for loopholes or exaggerating or perverting something that's in the documents that gives them some kind of chance to find a way around things. TJ, I'm going to tell you one other thing real quick. Um, the sound is good as far as the background noise and stuff like that. Your mic's a little weak right now. I don't know if you want to hold it closer or if you can switch it to a different mic. I
How's
mean,
this?
it's loud. No, that's not any better. It's real
Oh,
scratchy and it's real. Just keep it where it is. We can understand what you're saying, but it's a little. The mic is less quality than it was just the phone. So
I wonder
we'll
if I
just
can
keep
get on
that.
my laptop. Go ahead, Mike. I'm going to try to see if I can get on my laptop here.
All right. Well, whatever works. We can keep doing it the way we're doing here. But this is what Donald Trump typically does. He finds these made up loopholes and tries to make an argument for them. The reason we've never seen this before is because nobody's been this audacious where they will do anything to weasel out of something. So we're going to get these arguments and they will go on forever. The fortunate part of this, though, is Donald Trump's tactics have always been delays during Joe Biden's situation. And that worked against Joe Biden and the Democrats. These delays will work against him, and that's good news.
Right.
Donald Trump only has so much time to get things done, and he doesn't do a real good job of getting things done. He talks a lot, he makes a lot of noise. My problem is right now, while we're waiting for something to happen, Elon Musk is continuing to compromise people's information illegally. And if it's illegal, why isn't there some kind of enforcement of this? It's great to say, "Oh, okay, it's illegal," but if you can't stop him, then it really doesn't mean anything. And this is why I'm concerned about government in general. It's almost like we're in a lawless state where there is no laws, there is no accountability for anything. What the Republicans have to remember, though, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So when the Democrats get in control, they can do all the same shit, and then they'll be screaming like they're a stuck pig. I don't know. I think TJ froze up or something here. Um, anyway, we'll continue on. Um, when TJ unfreezes, we'll get him talking again. But the fact of the matter is that Donald Trump is going to do whatever he can to create this chaos. The chaos, the confusion, that is the point. A lot of people get upset about this. A lot of people get frightened about this. And this is what I want you to do. Um, don't let it scare you. It should make you angry. It should make you mad. That's what it should do. The fact that people are becoming afraid of this is exactly what bullies do, exactly what Donald Trump does. So when you get upset, get scared, or just back down, that's essentially what they're going for. So keep that in mind as you're headed out. Um, this one, let's look at some of the questions. We've got TJ moving around again, so that might be good news. Um, I got one comment here. Please, there are special election 2025 in Florida and California. Uh, Florida, April 1st, 2025, first district, sixth district, California, April 15th, Oakland mayoral election. And they brought a whole fucking mic in, so TJ ain't fucking around up in this bitch.
I'm
Um,
trying. I'm trying.
okay. I think we're still hearing you on the headset mic. I don't know if we've got it switched to that mic yet, but
Um,
um,
hold on, Mike. I'm gonna send you. I don't know if this is gonna work.
you froze up again. All right. Well, anyway, we'll keep talking. Um, Maybe what you should do is drop out and come back in once you're set up, and then we'll see where it goes like that again. Um, what they were talking about, what that questioner was talking about, was some elections coming up, and I know a lot of people have been talking about these Florida elections. These Florida elections that uh, for House members. And the reason we have these elections in Florida is because Donald Trump grabbed up some people in the House to to put in his cabinet. So that leaves positions in the House open, and there has to be special elections. There's one in New York, and there's a couple in Florida. And here's the thing: there's only like a two or three seat difference with with the Republicans and Democrats in the House. The Republicans do lead in the House, but a switch of two might change everything, might make it a tie, or could ultimately even put the Democrats in power and put Hakeem Jeffries as the Speaker of the House. We'll have to wait and see what that is. But I know a lot of people. I know on TikTok and on YouTube here, there's a gentleman named Hawk, who you probably all know, and he's going out to try to push some information about these elections, trying to give some promotion to these folks to get us really focused. People who want to donate, people that want to support them in some way. Because if we can win those two seats, that changes the complexion of everything in the House, and that puts us in a position to pretty much block anything that Donald Trump wants to do. And that's certainly something we'd all like to try. We'd all like to do something to shut Donald Trump down. He's going to have a tough enough time with such a slim margin anyway, because the Republican Party is so divided. But if we could just even up the score there, or even pull off getting control of the House, that would truly fuck with Donald Trump. He would be shitting his pants. Now, I don't know if you heard this or not. I don't know if you heard this or not, but Donald Trump is stupid. That's one thing. Donald Trump is also as petty a motherfucker as you ever want to find. Donald Trump announced today that he was revoking Joe Biden's security clearance. And what that means basically is once you've been president, you do still get security briefings. And they stopped it with Donald Trump because he was such a fucking mess and a traitor. They didn't want to give it to him. So now that Joe Biden is the former president, we also have Donald Trump now taking away his clearance. Now, what that really means, who cares? Joe Biden's not the president anymore. Donald Trump doesn't even read the documents, so neither one of them know what the fuck is going on. I'm not really worried about that, but Donald Trump thinks he did something there. He thinks he's smart. He thinks he proved a point, but he's so petty and so childish. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. All right, Ash Ram says, "Do you fear that really qualified people will get fired, calling them as DEI hires because of their skin?" Oh hell yeah! I mean, we're dealing with a bunch of fucking racists here. If they can get rid of people of color, LGBTQ, whatever. But the thing people don't understand is DEI isn't just about people of color or LGBTQ. Technically, theoretically, women are DEI hires too. So everybody's at risk unless you're an old white guy like me and I don't want a fucking job. You're looking at my job. This is all I'm going to do. Um, Old Soul says, "Hey, boom. Hey, chat. Chat. Oh, okay, the chat. Old Soul, you know Old Soul. She is a frequent guest on the Rational Boomer podcast. She is an angel on earth. She's always working hard, helping out, protesting. She's an activist, true to form, and it's good to have her in the in the comments here. Florida strategy needs to be boots on the ground ASAP. Judy. Crazy Cat Lady Judy, if I understand that right. She's a frequent emailer on the podcast. You're absolutely right. I mean, we have to take this seriously. What we have in Florida with these two seats is an opportunity. We can't let opportunities go by the wayside. It's just not a good thing. We can't allow to miss anything in this situation. If we can get both those seats, it changes the whole perspective for the next 2 years. And it's going to fuck with Donald Trump's head. I'm excited about that prospect. Dennis Osmick says, "I feel like most people haven't taken the time to read up on political documents from the mid 1800s." Yeah, I would think you're probably right. Most of us haven't read. I don't know what the point is, but Lila G says, "I'm happy to see Hawk try." Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we should all try. And talking to TJ yesterday, he seemed to think that he could get some way of getting uh, these candidates on the Rational Boomer podcast, or better yet, live on TikTok or live on here. We got to get people to understand who they are and give them some support, whether we live in Florida or not. We can all get behind this and help out. Um, Old Soul says, "Agreed. Florida is important. Let's all jump in and do what we can, win the Florida special elections. That should be our goal." I mean, once Donald Trump was elected president and everything went the way it did on November 5th, I think we all felt like, there's nothing we can do. Well, now there is something we can do. Jeff Rubin says, "Why y'all hating on Donald Trump?" It's not just Donald Trump. We hate you too, motherfucker. See ya. Jeff Rubin says he shouldn't have security clearance. Now, this clown's already blocked. Who cares if he has security clearance? Donald Trump was crying about not having security clearance. Uh, you know, I do get my share of Trump supporters on TikTok and on YouTube here. And for the life of me, I don't know why they bother. They should be happy. They should be content. They should be out there making America great again or supporting the fucked up shit that dumbass orange savior has done. It's just a matter of time before they feel the pinch. And when they do, they'll be crying and whining. And guess what? No sympathy here, motherfuckers. Dennis Bertrand says, yeah, but so far he's doing whatever he wants without Congress. You're absolutely right. Um, TJ says, okay, I think things are better. Okay, I don't know what to do here. Can you use the same link to come back in? Can you do that? I don't know because I don't know that I can get you a link from where I'm at now. Do people genuinely believe that voting red or blue makes any difference? Well, I understand what you're saying. It does make a difference. Uh, it makes a difference because we have one party that's trying to overthrow the government and another party who has its share of problems, but at least isn't trying to overthrow the government. I think you got to look at things a step at a time. It's one thing to allow the Republicans to do what they want and overthrow the government, then it's all over. Nobody really cares. But if we can knock out the Republicans, get the Democrats in, then we can sit the Democrats down, grab them by the ear, and say, listen, motherfuckers, we don't like what you've been doing. We need to straighten some shit out. It's a matter of taking control here. Democrats and Republicans have had the control. They're the elites. They do whatever they want. But the fact of the matter is, the Constitution really said that we should have the power. The people should have the power. But we ceded that power to these people because we were lazy and apathetic. And so, fuck it. They've got it. Our apathy over all these decades is why we are here now. Now it's a five-alarm fire. We don't have the opportunity to be apathetic or we lose everything. And now people are sitting here saying, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, we're going to do what we should have done for the last 50 years. We're going to start speaking out. We're going to start making calls. We're going to send emails. We're going to protest. We're going to do whatever the fuck we have to do because we waited too long. Uh, Now, Jeff Rubin posted a bunch of stuff, and and he's blocked. TJ the plumber says I'm back. I don't see you on here though. I'm not seeing any or hearing you, so I'm not sure what we do here or what I'm supposed to do. All right. Well, anyway, we'll continue on. Adelante, Boomer, do you think we just saw America's last election? No, I don't. I get a lot of people asking me that. They say, there's not going to be elections in 2026 or 2028. And my question is, based on what? Because Donald Trump makes you think that? See, this is the problem with a lot of people. Donald Trump says something and you assume it's a foregone conclusion that it's going to happen. You forget that Donald Trump is a pathological a liar. You forget that he's a fucking dumbass. So, given all that, do you really want to believe that? To not have an election in 2026 or 2028 would take a congressional effort, an amendment to the Constitution, or some deletion of the Constitution. That doesn't happen very fast. Certainly doesn't happen in less than 2 years or less than 4 years. And it's not going to happen anyway because nobody is going to buy into that. You have to understand Donald Trump is the only one he cares about. So he's worried about his future. Say the Republicans say, okay, you can run for 3 terms. Well, that applies to Democrats too. Are they really going to like that? I mean, are we going to have Barack Obama run again in 2028? They're trying to game the system and say we want a 3rd term, but it's only under these terms, typical of the Republicans. And typically, that shit doesn't go anywhere. Um, TJ's asked TJ's asked me if I can bring him back up, and it doesn't look like I can. I'm I'm checking, but I don't see a way. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to send another. Oh man. Okay, now I'm going to try to get him in again. Okay,
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. The mic sounds good. I don't have any background noise, and
All
well, I
right.
do have a little background noise there. I
I'll
am
turn
getting a
my
little echo
I'll
from
turn
you.
my volume down.
All right, all right. So anyway, we've been talking about a lot of stuff. TJ got out. We got the technical aspects fixed. TJ is back, thankfully, and we've been talking about a lot of things. I know you talked about this once or twice, so I'll bring it up to you. I get the question all the time: Is have we seen our last election? Is there going to be no elections in 2026 or 2028? And I think there's a lot of fear from people out there, but I don't think there's anything really to be fearful of.
No, I don't think so. I mean, Donald Trump's trying his best to undo the Constitution, but he can't undo it. That's
Right.
the bottom line.
And that's what it would take to do that
Yes.
sort of thing. Like I've explained to people, every time Donald Trump says something, people act as if it's going to happen, that it's absolutely going to happen, which is ironic because Donald Trump, we know, is a pathological liar. Nothing he ever says is true. Nothing he ever says actually happens. So I don't think people have to worry about whether or not there's going to be another election. The other thing I brought up while you were away was, did you hear that Donald Trump has said that he's revoking the security clearance for Joe Biden so he doesn't get briefings?
Yeah, I saw that news story come across my phone earlier. But honestly, do you think Joe Biden gives a fuck about that? It means
No. And
nothing.
who
It
cares?
really, Mike, it means nothing. It means fucking nothing.
Well, exactly. It's not like Donald Trump's going to consult with him.
No.
And fuck, Joe's 82 years old. He should be on a fucking beach, not worrying about briefings when he's not getting paid to do it.
It's probably a relief for Joe Biden, to be honest with you, because he's retired. He don't give a fuck now.
Right, exactly. And but my point is what this is was Donald Trump is this petty little bullshit where he thinks he actually did something. Oh, I got him back. I owned a
Well,
libtard.
yeah, that was all bluster for the Trumplefucks. Like, oh, we got Joe Biden. He can't get these. I mean, it's a joke, man. It's a joke. Like, it was all for show for the Trumplefucks.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what everything is. I mean, I think that can be said for just about everything that Donald Trump is doing right now, firing people, going into the departments and such. This is about a show. I mean, these fucking idiots don't even know what they're doing once they get in there. I saw
No.
one Congress member say say that Elon's going in there with highly trained professionals between 19 and 20, between 19 and 24, one of whom has the nickname or the online name Big Balls.
Big
Yeah,
balls.
he sounds like a quite a professional.
It's a joke, man. It's embarrassing. Like, the rest of the world is laughing at us, man. It's so bad. Like, I feel like my friends in Europe are like, "What the fuck is going on with your country?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know." Like, they're like, "We're all laughing at you guys," and I'm like, I understand why you're laughing at us, and I feel badly about that. But what can I do? I mean, it's like a clown car with all the clowns coming out of it like 24/7.
Will is out here too, and
I
he's
saw
on the
Will.
show frequently. And he makes a comment that he makes a lot, and I tend to agree with him. He says torches and pitchforks. Am I
He's right.
like My question is that all we have left now? I mean, we don't have the DOJ to work for us. Congress seems to be impotent. Uh, they keep telling us that she's breaking laws, but he gets to keep doing it. Is that what we have left now? Is that all of us hit the streets with torches and pitchforks and take control of this shit?
Well, that's what I asked my friend that's a lawyer today. And I said, "Why is he able to get away with this?" And he didn't really have an answer. He said, "I don't know." Because this unitary executive theory basically says that the president of the United States has ultimate authority over all the agencies that aren't laid out in the Constitution, which
Right.
makes no sense to me because the precedent that has been set for the last, I don't know, 80, 90 years has been that, the president doesn't have that, but it's never been tested because no president has ever acted like a toddler, like this fucking asshole. And so it's never been it's never been challenged before because most presidents of the United States act with decorum, and this president is a fucking fascist piece of shit that wants to fucking be a dictator. And so now we're in this conundrum and this quandary that we don't understand what's going on, and the legal minds don't even understand what's going on.
Yeah, but don't you find that incredibly disappointing, though? I mean,
Yes.
all our lives we've heard that Congress is strong, the DOJ is strong, we've got these rules and regulations. Nobody would ever do that. And then Donald Trump says, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. And then there's nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing. No control.
because I was taught, you know, going to school that we have separation of powers.
Right.
And at this point right now, we do not have separation of powers.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
The executive branch is taking in total control over everything that they do not have authority over, and it's I don't even know what to think anymore.
The standard rule of thumb for a president, once he puts an AG in charge of the DOJ, is to be hands off, have no
Yes.
influence over the DOJ. That's what virtually every president in past history has done. Okay?
Yep.
Donald Trump doesn't do that. He has total control over the AG and whatever the DOJ is doing. You fire an FBI and CIA agents and all that sort of stuff. I wish I wish Joe Biden had taken just a little bit of Donald Trump's strategy over the DOJ and Merrick Garland. And had he done that, Donald Trump would be in jail right now.
Yep.
But Joe stuck by the rules. Donald Trump doesn't stick by the rules.
Well, my opinion is that Joe Biden fucked up with Merrick Garland.
He did.
He fucked up. That was his biggest mistake of his presidency, is to put that fucking dumb fuck in charge of the DOJ.
Well, and he didn't fuck up by hiring him because who knew?
Right.
Where he fucked up was that after a year, he didn't fire him and
Right.
exchange him with somebody. Once he saw that he was doing nothing, they should have fired his ass. But Joe
Exactly.
just sat there and accepted whatever he was going to do. It
Well, and
we
that
could
and
have
that
saved ourselves a lot of trouble.
and that goes back to Joe Biden being an old school politician. I mean, he's been in Congress like 45, 50 years or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and he doesn't operate like that. And it was a mistake. It was a mistake because Merrick Garland sat on his hands, didn't do jack shit, and now we got this, you know, Fourth Reich asshole fucking running the country.
What do you think about Pam Bondi, who is the new AG? I mean,
She
clearly she's made some directives that suggest she does whatever Donald Trump tells her to do, which is counterproductive to having a DOJ.
What do I think about her?
Yeah.
She's going to be a puppet for Donald Trump. She's going to do whatever Donald Trump wants her to do.
Yeah.
She's going to be complicit and ineffective. She's not going to uphold the law. She's not going to, she's going to go along with investigations with about the January 6th committee. She's going to open up investigations against, you know, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, all the people on the January 6th committee. She's going to do all that. She's going to be complicit in the whole fucking thing.
Just got a comment from Old Soul. She said, "Have you seen what NASA did?" Actually, no, I didn't because I was worried about the other hundred fucking things that are going on in Washington D.C. So no, I don't know what happened with NASA. Please expound on that, Old Soul.
I'd like to know.
Um,
I'm going to look that up right now.
yeah, well, the thing about it is that we are going to continue to live in this chaos for a time. I think what we're seeing now is going to diminish a little bit eventually. But what we learned in the first 4 years with Donald Trump is that every day is a fucking shit show. Every day something goofy is being said.
Well,
I find it, go ahead.
well, every day is going to be chaos from now until the next 4 years. I mean, it's going to be chaos every day, and that's
Yeah.
what they want. That's what they want is chaos every day.
And you know what's proof of that? What's proof of that is remember when he did that press conference with Benjamin Netanyahu, and he fucked up, and he said, "Yeah, we want to kick everybody out, all the Palestinians out. We want to flatten it and turn it into the Middle Eastern Riviera." That's what he said. That was a
Yes.
bad mistake. Nobody in the world supported that, and somebody should have told him at that point, just lay off that. That's fucking dumb. That's going to get you in trouble. But today, he reiterated that, in spite of the fact that everybody in the world, including Saudi Arabia, said, yeah, that's too far. We're not doing that. He reiterated that. So here's what I find funny about this this guy is pissing off everybody in the world, particularly people in the Middle East, and he is choosing to go to the Super Bowl on Sunday in New Orleans, one of the biggest media events of the year. And
You're
Donald
right.
Trump can't stand that somebody else is going to get attention, so he needs to go there. But I got to think in that circumstance, with the Super Bowl alone, that's a security risk. You throw Donald Trump in that fucking mix, it could be potentially disastrous if anything goes wrong.
That doesn't make me sad though.
Now that may be the only reason. Well, it makes me sad because in something like this, there will be a lot of innocent people hurt if we have that kind of tragedy at the Super Bowl or anywhere.
Well, yeah,
I
of
don't want
course.
to see that. If Donald Trump was alone on an island, I go, okay, cool, that could be entertaining. But Donald Trump is a disaster wherever he goes. Um, I'm curious as to how he's going to be received at the Super Bowl because, like you mentioned yesterday, not a lot of fans in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philadelphia. Well, that's what I mean. You know, Philadelphia is a pretty there's a lot of solidarity in Philadelphia. Let me put it that way. So I don't think that his presence is going to be incredibly popular with the Eagles fans from Philadelphia.
No, probably not. And the thing about Philadelphia fans, they seem pretty demonstrative in their dislike of somebody. The old throwing beer cans at Santa Claus.
Yeah, they are, and I'm from Western Pennsylvania, so we live in Steelers country,
Yeah,
and that's kind of a rivalry, and I've been to Eagles Steelers game, and it gets a little dicey. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I know.
And
I've been
so
to games with the Vikings in Philly and here in Minnesota, and it gets fucking dicey.
right, so I it it's going to be a wild performance. I think that there's going to be some dissension amongst the ranks there.
Yeah, yeah, I would have to say so. So Justin H made a comment here, and see what you think about this.
Okay.
Justin H says, "We'll have to see if judges start sending out orders to hold people under Trump in contempt of Congress and jail them."
What?
Is that well? He's wondering if when judges are making these orders to pause something or whatever, if they continue to do it, which it appears as though they're going to do. Can they hold him under contempt, and can they put him in jail for being in contempt?
Well, I don't think they can put Donald Trump in jail, but I think that they can put the actors in jail.
Right.
So so if these kids, I use that term loosely, these kids that Elon Musk hired, and he obviously hired them because they're kids and they're gullible and impressionable. If these
And have
kids
big balls.
continue to do this stuff against the judge's order, well, yeah, they can send FBI agents there to arrest them. So yeah, I think that's incredibly possible, and I think that that was Elon Musk's plan all along. That he's going to get some puppets to go out and do his will, and if they go to jail, oh well, he's not going to help them. Just like Donald
Yeah.
Trump. Donald Trump doesn't like if you do crimes for Donald Trump and you go to jail, he's like, fuck you. Too bad.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the
No.
same
No.
thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, did you see the story? Well, I know you saw the story about one of the punk ass bitches that are Donald or that are Elon Musk's little minions. He decided to resign because as their names became open to the public, some people looked into his social media and he had said some pretty fucking racist things.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, that forced him to resign. Some other things came out about one of the guys too. Apparently, he left his last job because he was slipping company secrets to competitors. So these aren't the highest grade of people. Um,
No. We ex-
but
we
did you?
expect we expected that. And I think the one that I could be wrong and someone can correct me in the chat, but I think the one that resigned, and maybe I'm wrong about this, is the one who he his father owned a food company.
Popcorn company.
Yeah, and they're getting a lot of backlash from the public right now, rightfully so. I mean, you fuck around and you find out, right?
Right.
So I think maybe the pressure got to him, but then I saw something earlier and I'm not sure about, like, I only glanced at it, so I'm not totally sure what it was, but I think that he's back. Like he resigned but he went back. And maybe someone in the chat knows more than I know about that, but
Well, here's what I know about that. First of all, JD Vance came out and
no.
said they should hire him back
Mhm.
because, and this is what JD Vance said. Well, of course, I don't agree with some of the stuff that he said, but he shouldn't have it. This kid shouldn't have his life ruined. My question to JD Vance: which of the racist comments do you agree with? If only some of it you disagree. I'd like to know what JD Vance's racist tendencies are. And then Elon Musk said that he was going to hire him back. So I don't know if he actually did or not. But let's be honest, it doesn't matter if he hires him back. Once his name is out there, he's going to be absolutely crucified in social media. And
Yeah.
anybody connected to him is going to be crucified. So bring the fucker back. We don't
Well,
care.
well,
It'll give
JD,
us somebody else to take pot shots at.
yeah, well, JD Vance obviously agrees with everything racist that he said. I mean,
You would think so.
that's what he's saying, right? And of course, Elon Musk does because he likes to make, you know, salutes to people, right?
Yeah.
So, so that's a non-issue for Elon Musk. He doesn't care how racist you are. You can have a 1488 tattoo on your forehead, and Elon Musk is going to give you a big hug to help, hire you and get you in there to help out.
Yeah, no shit. I did a TikTok earlier, and I'm one of these guys when we have a lot of problems. If I have a lot of problems I got to deal with, I understand that if I try to take them all on at once, it becomes insurmountable, it becomes overwhelming, and you get nothing done. I'm a firm believer in taking first things first and then move to the next thing. And in
Right.
my mind, right now, the most imminent danger we have in this country, the most dangerous person we have in this country, and probably the easiest one to contend with is Elon Musk. He's not a president. He doesn't have immunity. He isn't even working for the government. And what we need to do is maximize all pressure on him as possible. Certainly the financial aspect of it. We talked about how Tesla is losing sales all over the world, like
Oh,
60% in Germany, 12 or
yeah.
15% here, 30% in Europe. It's not going well for Elon Musk. But over and above that, what we need to do is do what the Republicans would do. We need to go after this motherfucker on social media, dig out every piece of dirt, embarrass him at every turn. He is a narcissist, so he will lose his shit eventually and he'll make mistakes. But I think right now, if we got to pick one thing out, we've got to shut down, cancel, and get rid of Elon Musk and put him in a situation where, um, people will say that Elon Musk would be protective even if he did commit crimes. I tell you what, there's one exception to that. If Donald Trump gets pissed off at Elon Musk, Donald Trump is going to go after Elon Musk when he has the opportunity. And this little Time thing with Elon at the Resolute desk on the cover of Time, that ain't helping matters much. That's pissing Donald Trump off.
Oh, Donald Trump is his diaper was full when he saw that, man. Like, there's no question about that. And I think that there isn't much that we can do to attack him short of complaining to Congress and complaining to, you know, our officials. But I think that this will self-destruct, and I don't think it's going to take that long because that that Time magazine cover, and he got questioned on it by a reporter today. Did you see the look on his face?
Yeah,
It looked like someone kicked his puppy.
yeah.
And for
You're
a
talking about Trump.
narcissist to look like that, you and I both know this, that he's full of rage right now.
Oh,
Rage.
he is furious, and
So
these people don't do well with rage. They don't control it very well.
no, so I honestly think that maybe Elon Musk is causing a lot of static and it's unlawful, and it's unfortunate for the people that are working with him because they're going to go to jail. But I honestly think that, like, it's going to be short time right now with Elon Musk, that he's going to self-destruct with Donald Trump, and he's going to be out of the picture one way or another. I don't know what that's going to look like. Either Donald Trump's going to have enough and say Elon Musk broke the law, go arrest him, or he's going to be like, I'm done with you, get the fuck out of here, and that's it. I like Honestly, I want for option one, to be truthful with you, but I don't know what that's going to look like. But it's just a matter of time. Maybe
Well,
it'll be 2 weeks,
here's the
maybe it'll
thing.
be 2 months, but
Here's the
that's it.
thing that when you've got two malignant narcissists like that, the breakup's not going to be smooth. It's not going to be pleasant. They're going to be going after each other, trying to prove the other is more powerful than the other. And it's kind of a close, Donald Trump wants his money, Musk wants his power. They both have something to offer one another, but they aren't going to be able to get get away from each other without it being a fucking mess. And I'm looking forward to that. The more messes we can see within the Republican Party, the better. Judy is out here. She's saying he'll remove the debt ceiling. I don't think
No,
he'll remove the debt ceiling. He needs
no.
Congress to do that.
Congress has to remove the debt ceiling, and Hakeem Jeffries pretty much said today, "Fuck the Republican Party. We're not playing games. We're not giving them fucking jack shit."
Well, every time they have a CR or they do the budget thing, the debt ceiling is raised to a certain point anyway. They've always had to do that because they spend more than they planned on. Um, the Democrats could be in a position to fuck the Republicans over by just saying, nope, we're not going to raise the debt ceiling. Do exactly what the Republicans did to us and
Yep.
make them sit there and twist in the wind. I hope they do. I think the Democrats are a little weaker in that regard, and they'll feel for the people that would be impacted by it as well. They should. So I don't know how that's all going to go, but an unlimited debt ceiling, that's not going to happen.
Well, I really hope that they grow a pair of balls this time, Mike. I mean, come on. They, they they've been complicit and weak. They need to grow a set of balls and tell the Republicans, "Fuck yourself. We're not playing games with any of this shit." And these confirmations are a joke. I mean, RFK, Bobby Brainworm. What? How could anyone vote for them? And I told you today that I called Fetterman's office and I got sent right to voicemail, and I had other business to do with them, but I was gonna, once I got on the phone with them, tell them what I think about what the fuck's going on. You know, I'm not happy, and he shouldn't be, you know, taking a knee to Donald Trump. That's a joke. And if there needs to be solidarity at, in any time in history, today is the day.
Yeah.
And the Democrats need to tell the Republicans, fuck you. If you want to go along with this fucking fascism, we're not going to fucking play ball with you. There's going to be no debt ceiling increase. There's going to be no fucking deals. You need our votes. Go fuck yourself.
That's pretty much what's going to happen. Now, Will posted something, and I did see this. He said, "Did you see what JB Pritzker did today?" Now,
I did.
JB Pritzker is the governor of Illinois, right? And to troll Donald Trump, he came on and said, "Listen, we're going to make some changes around here. We're going to change the name of Lake Michigan to Lake Illinois." And he did it with a straight face. And he said, "For security reasons, we're also going to try to buy Green Bay, Wisconsin." Now, it's absolutely silly. Pritzker knows it's silly, but he's basically saying, Donald Trump, you're a dumbass. I'm making fun of you here.
Yeah, he said they're going to annex Green Bay, Wisconsin.
That's right. Yeah.
That's hilarious because that's how dumb it is. I mean, it couldn't be any dumber because it, there's no. It's the same comparison. Like Donald Trump wants to do this, and Denmark said, "Fuck yourself. We're not going to do that. We're not going to sell Greenland to you. That's a joke." You know,
Yeah.
and the European Union's thumbing their nose at them, and it's an embarrassment to the world community for us. I'm ashamed. I really am. I'm ashamed to be on the world stage, and my friends from Europe are like, "What the fuck? You guys are a joke." Like, eh, eh,
We
I
are a
feel
joke.
I feel shame. I really do. It's
I,
terrible.
I do too. Justin says he saw some Russian commentators commenting, laughing at the U.S.,
Yeah,
comparing Trump to Boris Yeltsin. Now, if you remember Boris Yeltsin, he was a drunk, tousle-haired dumb fuck. He
yeah,
was a goofball. And you're absolutely right. You have to give the Russians credit for this. Donald Trump is a dumbass. He doesn't drink, as far as we know, but he does Adderall. So we got
yeah,
that going for us.
yeah, and that's part of why he shits his pants.
Yeah. I'm waiting to find, you know, at some point, he's got to have an accident in front of people. That's going to
Right?
be hilarious if that ever happens, because that would crush his ego so much, so much. Let's see what else we got out here. Um, the world is waiting for someone to do something. In the meantime, we're stuck locking you out till it gets fixed. Somebody said something in the comments too. They said, as of Monday, the Democratic delay tactics end. Is there some kind of thing going around out there that the Democrats will finally have regrouped and going to do something on Monday? I find that hard to believe.
I don't know anything about that. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Um, I mean, I don't have a lot of confidence in the Democrats as yet. They are kind of showing up a little bit more and they're speaking out more. But this is something they should have done fucking 4 years ago. If they'd
Right.
done that 4 years ago, we wouldn't be in this mess right now.
Right. Well, Hakeem Jeffries came out today and talked shit on Donald Trump and said, this isn't going to be tolerated. But what are they going to do? You know, a lot of words are great, but let's see some action.
Well, that's exactly it. And it goes back to what I said before. You keep telling us this shit is illegal, but so what? Nobody's doing anything about
Right.
it.
And I looked up today. It's like U.S. Code 18, Section 1030 about computer fraud. And it basically says, I'm just summarizing what I read, but it says that anyone who manipulates or accesses government files or mutilates government files, that's a felony. And so these kids that he hired have committed felonies. But why isn't anyone doing anything about it? And I asked my friend that's an attorney. I said, why isn't the DOJ doing anything about it? And they said they're afraid of Donald Trump. They're afraid of retribution. I'm like, so there's no FBI agent out there that says this is a violation of the law? And he said, well, it remains to be seen if they're going to do anything about it.
Yeah. Justin in the comments said to all haters in the comments, what these guys are talking about is not radical or wacky. If you think it is, you're a radical, wacky one. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're radical, all right. We're radical, all right. And Justin, we get a lot of Trumplefucks coming into these things. And here's the one thing I can tell you about every Trumplefuck I've ever talked to. They're stupid. They have no substance. When asked a simple question, they have trouble answering it. If they were still going to school, uh, they'd be going to the special class, which is now going to be canceled now that they want to end
Title
the
Nine.
Department of Education. Yeah, they want to
Yeah,
end the
Title
Department
Nine.
of Education.
Yeah, once they well, Elon Musk went today and he closed down the Department of Education, which means all of Title Nine kids with disabilities have no more funding for their programs. Kids in wheelchairs, kids with autism, all that shit's gone as of today. I hope he's
Well, you
proud
know
of
what?
himself. I hope he's proud of himself.
What else is gone too? Assuming it takes, unless the judge can stop it. Anybody who works in that area of education out of a fucking job. I happen
Yep.
to know a Trump fuck that has an autistic kid and a wife working in that field. I wonder how they're going to like Trump now. How you like me now? Now that you lost a job and lost support for your child.
You should ask him that question.
Well, I would love to, but I'm not allowed
Why?
because I'm married.
Oh, Cindy won't let you ask that question.
No, no. And it's probably wise I don't. No reason to start some shit when they're going to suffer for their own poor choices.
I,
Then here's another comment. Americans have to treat maggot republic traitors the same way Germans do. Americans have to treat maggot republic traitors in the same way they treat McCarthyism. And I think I think that's a fair assumption. These people are as dangerous as the people involved in McCarthyism and in Germany. I mean, they're that egregious. Don't get me wrong. Don't get excited. I'm not comparing this to what happened in Germany in the 30s and 40s. That was the far worst thing that could possibly happen. But the mindset that we're dealing with and the kind of horrible traitorous ideology is similar in that sense.
yeah, I'd agree with that. But they really need called out on this shit. I mean,
Yeah.
how can everybody be silent about this? And it's frustrating to me, that they're not that there's no action being taken. Like, why? I, and maybe there's a bigger reason. I mean, I'll go along with the idea that there's a bigger reason that they're compiling all these deeds to make an impeachment um, hearing ahead of time, or down the road from now.
Yeah.
But it's frustrating that nothing's being said about it, short of the minority leader saying we're not going to tolerate Donald Trump's horseshit. But what are you going to do? So I don't know if they're building a case to try to take him to task or what, but it's frustrating to me.
What do you all think about Donald Trump Christianizing the U.S. and going against whoever doesn't agree? Now, I would call myself a Christian. I don't believe in organized religion because I don't have a lot of respect for churches. But if you do, that's fine. The Christianizing of this country is troubling because we are supposed to have a separation between church and state. One of the reasons we left England is because of how much control the religions had over over politics. Uh, Religion shouldn't come into play into politics, and politics shouldn't come into play into religion. And this is where we have the problems. People want power, so they're trying to tell everybody you got to be Christian. Well, not everybody in this country is Christian, and to suggest they must be is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And that's what they want, though. That's part of Project 2025. They want a Christian nationalist state, and that's what they're working towards. And
That's,
anyone who thinks otherwise, and Donald Trump lied and said, I don't know anything about Project 2025, bullshit. Bull fucking shit. All this stuff that's in Project 2025 is coming to fruition now.
yeah.
It's total bullshit. He lied to your face.
He lied to your face, and now you're going to have to suffer the consequences. You bought it. Um, what was I going to say here? Note, Garland is why we're here, and Biden let it happen. Both sides seem to be on the same side, and it's not the side of democracy. You're
No,
right about Garland. You're right about Biden. Biden should have fired him. Suggesting that Democrats and Republicans are on the same side, I don't agree with that. That said, I'm not as confident about the Democrats as a lot of people are. They aren't the heroes here. They have done plenty to cater to the elite, the wealthy, as well as the Republicans. It just so happens the difference we have here, Republicans are trying to overthrow democracy, and the Democrats presumably aren't. What I want to see is get rid of the Republicans and then grab the fucking Democrats by the ear and say, now listen, motherfucker, shit's going to change.
right. Well, but the problem is they're too stupid.
Yeah.
They're worried about, you know, who I mean, I'm gonna be blunt right here. They're too worried about who has a dick and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I confronted somebody about the transgender thing, and I told them, I'm like, you know, transgender people are 1% of the population, and you're fucking freaking out about it. Why? And I know I know transgender men and transgender women, and I showed them a side by side picture of a transgender man and a transgender woman, and I showed the picture of the transgender man, I said, if your daughter went into a restroom, which one of these people would make them more fearful, the transgender man or the transgender woman? And when I say that, the transgender man, of course, is a biological female who looks like a man, and this person has a full ass, big ass beard, that dresses like a man. Do you think if that child went into the bathroom and saw that transgender man, because that's what their sex was assigned at birth, that they have to use that restroom, who are they going to be more afraid of?
Yeah.
It's a fucking
Yeah.
we're arguing about something that is irrelevant in the grand scheme of society. It's irrelevant.
Well, and that's the point is that you've got these people worried about the transgender situation. Okay, you're worried about it, but it doesn't amount to many people. But those people
No.
deserve to be treated normally. Somebody made a point that said there are fewer transgender people in college sports than there are sexual offenders in the Trump administration. That's absolutely true.
That's
That's
accurate.
absolutely true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Old Soul saying, Boomer, can you bring anyone else on? I have something to say. It's too long to type. I think I can only have on one at a time, Old Soul. I'm sorry. Um, let's see here. What else we got? Picking out the brown M&Ms and M's and the trends as well. Dan the man. Yeah. TJ, tell him about Tyler. Who would ever know? I think TJ's frozen here for a second. No doubt. Uh, Tyler, Rebecca is TJ's wife, and she's out there blowing up Trumplafucks as they do. And we get our share. When I first started doing lives on YouTube, I didn't get that many Trumplefucks, but they're like cockroaches. They come out of the walls, they're hard to get rid of, and they're dirty, disgusting, and worthless. That's just me. Other people might have a kinder thought about Trumplefucks, but I've got some uh, negative experiences with Trumplefucks. I've had a couple on the show, on the podcast, and I've had a couple crop up in the lives. Um, okay, Monkey Juice says we lost TJ. I'm not sure what's going on there, but that's all right. We're going to keep going. Monkey Juice says 5,000K collegiate participants, 10 transgender people of those 5,000. But you would think with the Republicans that it's the most oppressive problem that we could possibly have. In the scheme of things, it's not that many people, and there are more than 10 people in Donald Trump's cabinet or in his administration that are actually sexual predators. I mean, we can name them. Donald Trump is 26 times over, so what the fuck? So we lost TJ, and I'm guessing if he's to come back, we have to add somebody. Uh, Rebecca says, "Bring me up because I don't know if I can." All right. I don't know if this is breaking up into three parts or whatever. Um, Hadiner says, "Are there any studies or investigations of the 2024 votes ongoing? The data needs to be studied so the loss is better understood or anomalies are found." Yeah, I think you're right. I think there are some studies there. We heard about that after the election. Oh, there's some stuff going on. We've got to get that fixed. We've got to get it figured out. But the fact of the matter is, nobody came through with it. There probably are some studies. And the fact of the matter is, we know there was some hinky shit going on during that election. We know there were bomb threats in Georgia. We know that there was some meddling by Russia and Iran. We know this because the study was there and they have sanctions put on them because of what they were doing. So we know it happened. That's not the problem. We can prove it happened. It's what's anybody going to do about it? And this is the most frustrating thing we've had to deal with today. What are we going to do about it? I don't know. It's it's a very interesting thing leading up to the inauguration. Everybody was so sure that something was going to happen at the last minute, and I felt bad about that because I felt like a lot of people were giving back a lot of people some false. I'm why it's hard this time around. Okay, we're bringing TJ back.
I'm back.
Paul Anderson says loudmouth Trump said no need to vote again. We have to set it up. Yeah, when he said that, you don't have to vote again. It was just something coming out of his mouth. I don't think he. honestly believes that he can stop anything like that. Maybe he does. But let's understand something. Donald Trump is 78 years old. He's not in the best physical health. He's in poor mental health. The idea that Donald Trump will even be around in 2028, I'd take bets on that. I'll
No,
be surprised if he's around on 2026.
I don't think he's going to be around in 2026. I agree with you. I don't think he's going to
Rebecca
be.
Rebecca wants us to tell you to tell us about Tyler Titus.
Oh, okay. Um, Tyler Titus is a friend of mine. Um, Tyler is Tyler was on the school board in my city, and Tyler Titus is a transgender man, and he he has a PhD. I forget what his PhD is in. To be honest with you, I apologize. I don't remember, but he has a he has a PhD, and he ran for county executive. And of course, the Trump fucks were all over it when he ran for
Yeah,
county executive. And the previous county executive was a Democrat and a friend of mine, Kathy. And so Tyler ran as a Democrat for the seat on the county executive race. And of course, it was in 2016, and Donald Trump was running, and all the Trump fucks were running fucking roughshod over everything. And Tyler lost, and we ended up with a Republican county executive, and he's totally fucking up our county.
really.
Yes, because the sick people that don't understand that people are qualified regardless of their race or their gender or their sexual orientation or their creed. Tyler was enormously more qualified than this fucking douchebag Trump fuck piece of shit. And now this race is coming up this year, and we're gonna take this motherfucker out.
Yeah, good. Is Tyler Titus coming back, or is it going to be another candidate?
It's a different candidate this time. Um, he took a different job with the company, so he's kind of happy where he's at, and I understand that. But we have strong candidates that are coming out on the Democratic side, and it's really entertaining because when this Republican was in office, he proposed that we have to raise taxes on the county to balance the budget, and the GOP went fucking crazy, and the Republicans are pissed off because they don't want a tax increase. So the word on the street, and I don't know this for a fact, but the word on the street is that they're going to primary him in the primary election coming up in May.
That's a good move.
Yeah, well, I actually don't want that to happen because he's such a fuck up that a ham sandwich could on the Democratic side could beat him. I can put a ham sandwich with Swiss on the Democratic ticket and he'll lose.
Yeah. You know,
So
that's the one thing that I've noticed about politicians, especially the local politicians. You get the impression that a commissioner or a council member or even a mayor would be particularly bright, maybe know some things that we don't know. Most of them I've met are just dumbasses. They
right,
aren't very thoughtful, they don't think deeply, and they do whatever they do to enrich themselves. And that does seem to level up to Congress as well. I mean, the whole thing is about how do I make money for myself and fuck the people I represent.
right, and that's the thing too. Like this guy Tyler did so much for us, for working people, and and what I mean by that is that um, when he was on the school board, he was president of the school board. Um, he supported our project labor agreement that we had at the school board, which meant that all the school construction went union. So the constituents of our county that made a living wage benefited from him doing that and standing up for organized labor. That's a big deal to us. And we stood by him and we supported him in the election. And of course, we got our ass kicked. But you know what? We had to lick our wounds. But I've always got his back no matter what.
Yeah, yeah. I got some clever guy thinking he's funny saying, "I'm in your attic taking a nap." Oh, good luck,
What the
motherfucker.
fuck?
I live on the bottom floor of a fucking condo, so if you're in my attic,
Do
you're
you
in
even
somebody
have an
else's.
attic?
No, I don't have an attic. What do I
That's
need an
fucking
attic for?
stupid.
Yeah, they're so terrifying. I've told you before, some guy tried to dox me, which
Yeah.
isn't hard to find out who I am. Right? You can
No.
just go on the internet, you can find out who I am. I don't care because if you're going to dox me, come on by,
Right.
motherfucker. But um, I wanted to bring this up. This person said, "I could care less what is under someone's clothes or who do they go to bed with, just to have to be an adult." And I would say that's true with one
Yeah.
exception. With one exception. I would make it illegal for anybody to run for election for anything if they frequently have shit in their pants. If you can't control your own colon, you should not be allowed to run anything else
Well,
in politics.
I understand people have accidents, but how about this? How about if you regularly eat Big Macs and you shit your pants daily, then you should be able to run for anything. Does that seem fair?
That seems fair. If you
Okay.
stink like shit, probably best not to send him to the G7
Did
because
you see
he's
that?
not going to be popular.
Did you see that video where he's sitting there and he stinks so bad, and all the delegates for the G7 are sitting there holding their noses?
Yeah,
What an
yeah.
embarrassment! Are you fucking kidding me?
But he's so oblivious, he's not embarrassed by it. That's the thing. He's convinced himself he's so cool as he sits there in his own waste. That's
Right.
just unfucking believable to me.
Yeah, and Melania wore that hat to fucking block his ass from getting near her.
Yeah, the
and then
word is she
kisses Gavin Newsom
with
on the.
tongue. I
Yeah,
think there was tongue involved in that
there might
too.
have been. There might have been.
Well, she's not used to seeing a relatively attractive man. She's used to seeing an orange troll that smells like shit.
Right.
Yeah, it's what's amazing to me is we talked about this before. Um, Members of Congress. I was listening to a representative. He's a Democrat, and somebody said, "Jesus, isn't there any Republican colleagues out there that see the crazy shit he's doing and how damaging it is to this country?" They
They
say, "Oh
know.
yeah, oh yeah, they know." Well, why aren't they saying anything? He says, "Because they're afraid."
Yep.
Here's my thing. If I'm going to elect somebody to represent me in a very difficult job, I don't want to elect a pussy ass bitch who's afraid.
No.
I want the guy who's not afraid, who steps up, stands up, and pushes back. But
Well,
there isn't a Republican willing to do it.
no, that's just it, Mike. They're all fucking cowards. Every fucking one of them knows that he's a piece of shit, and they're all fucking cowards. Every one of them. And they can't
Well,
they can't they can't make excuses anymore. They know it. You can't defend him. How could you defend him anymore after what he's done?
no,
Nobody
you
can.
can't.
Nobody can. And for
And let's
them to
just
fucking
say,
stand by him is an absolute insult to the American people.
and let's just be honest. Let's be fair. There are plenty of Democrats that are cowards too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, John Fetterman. He went and kissed the ring of Donald Trump. That pisses me off. I know John, and I haven't spoken with him, but you know what? That's fucking ridiculous.
What happens to him now? I mean, I gotta believe that when he's up for election, that's maybe a few years off, but when he runs for election, there's no way the Democrats are going to vote for this dumb motherfucker again.
Well, the only thing I know is that, and I'm not involved with these people, but the far left people. in this state are losing their shit right now.
I'll bet.
And so I think that's an indicator about maybe where the direction is going to go. So there's going to be, I would expect probably, let's see, what would that be? 2026?
Yeah.
7? Wait, hold on. Be 20. When did he get elected? 2024? No, 2023? Be 2028. So I expect that there'll be a challenger in the primary.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Hodiner here said, and this brings up something I was thinking about last night. I was going to do a TikTok about it, and then I thought people thought it would weird, and now I don't care. Um, Hodiner says, I don't understand why third parties participate in the presidential election. If they truly want to start a new party or movement, is it not better to start at the local or state level first? That's true, but I
Yeah.
don't know that a third party, traditional party, would ever do well in the presidential election because the Republicans and Democrats pretty much own that and they're going to shut them out. People have said we're troubled by the Democrats, we're troubled by the Republicans. We need a third party, but we know a third party won't work. I got an idea. See what you think. This is thinking outside the box. This is a little fucking crazy. But how do you group together a bunch of people strong enough to elect a president without having a traditional party? I'm just going to say this. I'm just saying, with the internet, with social media, we got 22-year-old girls getting 10 million followers because they dance and lip sync shit. We've got people getting homeless people out of trouble and fundraising GoFundMe's of $100,000. We got everybody in fucking the world wanting to go to Doug's party, an 85-year-old guy. You see it all over TikTok. Here's my point. What if social media said, and because millennials and Gen Zs are going to be the mainstay with the votes in 2028, what if they said, fuck it, fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans? We're going to create candidates right here on social media. We're going to find some people, we're going to organize it a little bit, and we're going to support these people. They don't need a ton of money because all the promotion is right here. They could get millions of people supporting them if they use this as their sole platform, whether it be this social media platform or TikTok or whatever. What I'm saying is, as a group of people, the people in social media, there's enough of them, 170 million on TikTok. We could build a candidate and we could build that support for candidate and maybe blow out the Democrats or Republicans. So I'm saying that off the top of my head, out of the box. You have more political background than I have. How does that, why wouldn't that work? I lost your voice. I don't hear you now. He's speechless. It was such a good idea. I still don't hear you. It was such a good idea. He can't even speak. So anyway, my point is anything having to do with politics. It's about building grassroots and building support. We saw that with Kamala Harris. She built great ground support and huge money. She had the Democratic Party to help her to do that. But what if that could be done in social media? What if the millennials and Gen Z said, fuck it, we're going to find our own candidate and we're going to put them up? And they would be a third party, and theoretically, third parties don't work. But if you've got 20 million people backing you up on the internet, on social media, who's to say you couldn't have a shot? I think TJ's still without audio at this point. Let's see what uh, Rebecca Sanders is out there blocking Trump LaFux every step of the way. Thank you very
Hey,
much.
wait, I'm back. I figured it out. I'm good. I don't know how I got
Yeah.
muted. Somehow I got muted. I don't know what the hell happened. But
Well, your wife probably did it. She's probably sick
yeah,
of your shit.
she's fucking me up. You know. She's muting me because she doesn't want me to
Yeah,
speak.
I
But
don't blame her.
but
But
I,
that
I
idea,
agree.
what's wrong with it?
I agree with what you're saying, but the, there's a little bit of a caveat to that,
Okay.
and we don't want fucking. It's a good idea what you're saying, like to get some popular people to run for office, but we don't want fucking idiots like Joe Rogan gaining popularity and then ending up in Congress.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. What if you took somebody like who
Nick
might be a
Fuentes?
Democrat? No, and I'm not talking about social media stars out there. I'm talking about using social media to build the stars, create the
Right?
the the candidates, or even having social media say, we're taking Pete Buttigieg on as a special project. And everybody just got behind him and built so much support on the internet that he'd have to be taken seriously.
Yeah. No, I get it. And I really honestly think that maybe we should have Devo for the Supreme Court. There's Devo right there.
Yeah,
I think that would be a good selection for Supreme Court justices.
couldn't be any worse than what we've got now.
Well,
Well,
no, it
with what
definitely would
Don-
be worse than what we have now. We have a
with,
clown
with
car Supreme Court.
with what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing to our government at this point, God knows how it's all going to end up. Do you think we're ever coming to the point where you just got to burn the whole fucking thing down, Republican, Democrat, and start over?
Yeah, I do. I agree
I'm
with
kind of
that.
feeling that way.
And it's because the Democrats suck at messaging. I mean,
Yeah,
they focused on all the wrong issues, and that's why we lost the election.
right.
They were too worried about focusing on, and there's nothing wrong with supporting marginalized people, but they spent too much time on it. They
Yeah.
spent too much time on that, and they lost what they did. I mean, I'm going to be honest. They lost the white male working class guy. They lost him, and and
That's
that's
true.
facts. And if people don't like it, I don't give a fuck, because that's the reality of it. Because and I can tell you that's a reality because my members told me that. They said I'm voting for Donald Trump because he aligns with my issues. And not all of them said that, but the ones that did, I get it. Like, they lost the messaging. They fucked it all up. They could have done better and they screwed it up. So,
But here's the problem with the people that said Donald Trump aligns with my policies. What they're now finding out that whatever Donald Trump said was an absolute lie. So you got
yeah,
hoodwinked. You
of
got gaslit.
course. Of course that's true. And now they're well, we're at the find out phase of that, right?
Right.
They thought that was, Donald Trump's going to be their Lord and Savior and he's going to do all this shit for them. But you know what? They're going to find out real quick, and I'll tell you why. Because there's a lot of grants and loans and money out there that's been given to the through the infrastructure bill that Donald Trump is going to fucking cancel. And guess what? That Chips and Science Act right now, actively, as we speak, has 3,500 people building a microprocessor plant up in Columbus, Ohio. That job is probably DOA
Right.
because Donald Trump's gonna, and Elon, his little fucking bitch boy, or the other way around actually, is going to cancel that money. That money is toast, and that work is going to cease to exist. That was 10 years of work. It was like $10 billion of union wages that'll be paid to American people. And Donald Trump is going to destroy fucking all of it.
Yeah. There's no question about it. Well, when that happens, when stuff like that happens and the country goes to shit economically, do the Republicans, the Trump-fucks at that point go, okay, maybe I should step away from this? Or do they stay in this cult and continue doing what they're doing in spite of the fact they're getting their ass kicked?
Well, that's a hard question because the ones that have half a brain that listen to their union reps or like have reasonable media that gives them an education, yeah, they'll realize that. But the ones that are sycophants of Donald Trump and they listen to Fox News, when that shit gets um, thrown out, they're just going to blame it on the Democrats because that's what Jesse Waters and Sean Hannity is going to say. It's all the fault of the Democrats that you know this project got destroyed. You know, they believe that shit.
Well, they believed it coming into this election too, and it still falls apart. There's got to come a point where somebody has a reasonable mind that says, "Yeah, they're bullshitting us." I mean, how many times do they have to lie to them before these people grasp that they're being fucking lied to?
Yeah, but they don't think about that though. They don't think
True.
about the big picture. It's all about the libtards. It's all about they're going to take my guns. It's all about trans people, who has a dick, who doesn't have a dick. You know what I mean? Like they're they get led right into that trough by the right wing media. They get led right
Yeah,
into it. And people like Sean Hannity, he's the evilest motherfucker out there.
yeah,
And
he's
Jesse
bad.
Waters is the biggest fucking pussy ass bitch ever.
Yep, I
He
agree.
he is not like if anybody's worried about who has a dick or who doesn't, Jesse Waters doesn't have a dick. He's a
Yeah.
fucking pussy ass bitch motherfucker. And he deserves to be he deserves to get all the retribution for everything that he's caused.
And it's like it's so much like all the politicians. It's world be damned, country be damned, as long as I'm making my bucks. That's really
Right.
all it is. And people are taken in by this and they buy into it. And you're absolutely right. There is a certain faction of these people that are cult members that won't believe anything
They're
negative about Donald Trump or anything, and they'll always blame the Democrats, even though the Democrats don't have any position to do any of these things.
well, what's funny about that? What's funny about that is this: is that our international unions for the construction trades, and my particular international union's been around for 130 years, roughly, right?
Yeah.
And most of them, you know, have been they're in that realm. They're 100 to 130 years, right? Our internationals send them mailers saying this is what has been accomplished with the administration. Joe Biden did the infrastructure bill. That put millions of building tradespeople to work. Joe Biden did the Chips and Science Act that put all these people to work. And I go into my union's Facebook page, and these fucks are in there saying, fuck you. We're not gonna fucking believe that. Like that's facts, and they don't get it. Like even though that this has been done for them because of Joe Biden, they're saying it's not true. It's bullshit. You know, fuck that. We're not going to do that. Like, it makes me want to puke. Like, you're voting against your own self interest. You're voting against your pension. You're voting against your own self interest, your wages, and I know that for fact because I have a very good friend of mine who is in the same industry as me, and he manages a union in Virginia. And he is a great guy. And a few years back, not too long ago, the Virginia Senate and House passed a law to approve right to work for Virginia. And when that happened, I called him and I said, "So what happened when right to work was implemented in your state?" And he said, "It's devastating." And I go, "Why is that?" And he said, "We basically lost 30% of our wages and benefits overnight."
Yeah.
and that's the Republican agenda. So all you dumb fucks that are voting for Republicans, they're going to steal and rob you of your benefits, your pensions, all that shit. So you better fucking wake up. Today is the day that you wake up.
You know, the thing is, people say I'm insensitive, but uh, Old Soul and I are in agreement about this. There are some people that are so dumb, so oblivious, until they get pinched in the ass, they won't make any changes. So
That's true.
when I say to those people, I hope you suffer mightily. I hope you suffer mightily. It's not because I want you to suffer. I want you to wake the fuck up. And if that's what it's going to take, so be it. Let's do it.
No, I agree with you guys. I agree with you both. Like that's what it's gonna take. I told my friend today that my immigrant friend. I told him today. I'm like, they're never gonna understand it until it fucking burns down, and
Yeah,
that's where we're at.
absolutely.
That's where we're at. And my brother, he's a great guy. He's worried about shit. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, they have to let it burn to the ground. Until it burns to the ground, these fucking idiots are not going to get it. Until it hits their pocketbook, until it hits their fucking table, their dinner table every day, they're never going to understand it because they're all worried about gender identity and fucking guns, and they don't know that they're getting it right in the ass. They
Yeah.
don't know that. They
You know,
need to wake the fuck up. And the only way it's going to happen is if they burn the whole thing down and they suffer. And I feel bad
the,
about saying this, but fucking good.
yeah. You know,
Fucking good.
there's a certain amount of comfort. You
Yeah.
know, all through the election, we were trying to save democracy and all that stuff, and then they
Hey,
vote for Donald Trump, and after that, you're trying to do all this shit. There's a certain amount of comfort of being able to say, "All right, fuck it, have it
hey,
your way."
Mike, we tried to tell him, right?
Yeah,
You tried to tell him. I tried to tell him on the street. I do what I do is different than what you do. But we all tried to tell him. Now the consequence is here.
yep.
So fuck you. You voted for this. You fucking enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't feel any sympathy at all
No.
for anybody who's asked for this. And I know many people who would vote for Donald Trump that are going to be impacted. Guess what? I will tell you this, as an old man who's retired, it's probably not going to impact me that much.
And
So, and I don't want to act like I don't care because it's not going to impact me. It's going to impact my kids and my grandkids. And that's why I
right.
sit here and talk about this shit.
And I want to be clear that I don't want to I don't want to I don't want to portray to anyone that I don't have empathy for people. That's not true. Like the people that did the right thing that are going to get screwed. I My heart goes out to you. I really feel sad for you. But these fucking asshole, fucking redneck, dumb fucks that are collecting fucking SNAP benefits and welfare and all this shit, when it gets taken away from you, fuck you. I don't care. You
Yep.
you
Yeah,
deserve what you voted for, and I hope you get what you voted for.
absolutely.
And that's the power that we have because we're not going to fucking stand here and take it.
And we can't, there was a point where we felt like we could save something. And I don't feel like that is an option now. So all it is we can expose what's going on and let people know why they're suffering. That's about all I can do right at this point. But again, a certain amount of comfort. We did all we could. It didn't work. So we step back and go, burn, motherfucker, burn.
That's all we can do because they're not going to get it any other way. Let's be realistic about it. We did everything. What more could we do? We tried to reason with them. It didn't work. We tried to show them facts. It didn't work. We sh- we showed them when Joe Biden became president how this thing was better for them. It didn't work.
Yeah.
The
And
only
you're right
thing we can
about,
do now is put them in the pits of hell. And
yeah.
that's where Donald Trump is taking them. And they don't even realize it.
No, they don't realize it. And again, when we talk about sympathy or empathy and that sort of thing, I don't have any for them. I hope they burn. I hope their life is horrible. But at the same time, when I do TikTok lives, or even this live or TikToks in general, there's always those people that have a right mind and are dealing with disability and they're worried about Social Security and Medicare and all this sort of stuff. These people have to be stressed out every day just to
Absolutely.
know that they are going to be able to survive. And for
Right.
that, I'm angry. Not only angry at Donald Trump, but these people who are going to suffer that voted for Donald Trump, over and above that, they are responsible for the innocent people that are going to suffer too.
Yeah, and I have intimate knowledge about that, Mike, because I serve on my county's workforce development board, and it has a lot to do with education. Title One. TANF. I don't know if you know what TANF is, but it's
No,
temporary assistance for needy families. All that shit's getting cut. Title Nine, it's getting cut. And my executive director on the board, she's beside herself, and rightfully so. Like all the things that help the poor people and the people that need assistance in this county are going to be gone
yeah.
because of Donald Trump. And it's sad. And I sit on this board and there's not a fucking thing I can do about it because the money's gone. They're going to take all that money away to fucking fill Elon Musk's fucking pockets for SpaceX. And if anybody doesn't think that sovereign welfare, or what is it, sovereign wealth account, or whatever the fuck it is,
Right.
if they don't think that all that money is going to get directed into that sovereign wealth account, you're fucking clueless. They're going to
Well,
steal that money because they don't have to have congressional authority to put it wherever they want it to go.
there are countries that have that sovereign wealth account, and it works with countries that don't have a lot of debt. We, of course, have a lot of debt, and we're going to have more debt with Donald Trump. The whole concept is strictly for grifting. That's what it's for. There are some countries that use it for quasi legitimate stuff, but mostly it's about grifting.
Right?
I don't know that they're going to be able to accomplish having this sovereign wealth fund, uh, but they're going to work their ass off to do it. And don't think it's going to do you or me or anybody any good to say we can maybe buy TikTok. You know what?
No
TikTok at this point,
bullshit.
TikTok is ready to say fuck yourself because as much as he wanted to work a deal with TikTok, what he did to China with the tariffs, TikTok's basically saying fuck it.
Well, I don't think that it has anything to do with TikTok. I think that it has everything to do with, they can take that account, fill it full of billions of dollars, and spend it how they want without congressional approval. So they can take that money and start all these charter schools that take school vouchers and fuck over the public education system.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that whole thing with school choice is a fucking scam. It really is. They talk about, oh yeah, we give kids a school voucher and there's school choice for everyone. Yeah, but the voucher that they give you isn't enough to pay for the schooling for a private school. So the ripoff is that they give the voucher out and the kids that are poor get fucked over because it doesn't pay enough to get their whole education, and the kids
Right.
that are privileged, that are rich, get a bonus. If their schooling costs $20,000 and they get a $10,000 bonus on a voucher, then it costs them half the cost. It's a fucking joke.
It's almost like a tax cut, kind
Yeah,
of.
it's a
That's pretty
scam.
much what it is.
It's a
Yeah,
big scam.
it absolutely is. You know what, TJ? I don't know how long we've been going here, but I'm going to wrap things up here because I know it's longer than we normally go.
Okay.
TJ, I want to thank you for joining me on this show. I know I caught you off guard. I put you on the spot, but I'm
It
an
was a
asshole
little
like that.
impromptu, but I don't mind.
That's all right. That's all right. So, those of you listening, I want to thank you for taking the time to do that. I hope you have a great night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, folks.